the timeline of how this really worked out, the decision or the announcement that came in from the Adani Group of the FPO, or the second offering, after which the Hindenburg report came out, which changed the scenario completely. Now, let's break this down for you. What is the attack that came in, after which the Adani Group also responded? It was a very, very long over 400-page response that came in from Adani. So the attack in the Hindenburg report spoke of Adani Group engaging in brazen stock manipulation. That was the biggest attack that came in from Hindenburg in the report. And the counter that came in from the Adani Group is that the allegation is malicious and mischievous, that there is no truth to it at all. Apart from that, the Hindenburg Group also said that there was accounting fraud scheme that had been conducted for decades, and the counter that came in from the Adani side was that these allegations are stale. Adani Group has faced similar allegations previously as well, but it has been discredited before, so these are not new allegations. These allegations have already been dismissed before. After that, another attack also came in from the report. Remember, the Hindenburg Research Group had also given out a very, very lengthy attack on Adani, raising several questions, saying substantial debt landed the group on precarious financial footing, saying the debts of the Adani Group are so huge that if it comes down, then the entire Indian markets will be dragged down completely. In the response, the Adani Group saying 21 of the 88 Hindenburg questions have been disclosed already, that they have been answered by the Adani Group already, and it does not need any further clarification. Another attack was that money laundering at Adani by using offshore accounts. This was the attack that was made, and this is when the Adani Group questioned the timing of the allegations, the timing of this report being released, saying just when the announcement was made for the FPO, that's when this report has been released. So raising questions of it, and also saying that this is an attack on India. The response that came in from Hindenburg, of course, was that, this nationalism is not something that the Adani Group can hide behind. It should answer on the specific allegations that are being made. Let me go back to Sumit Sirkar for breaking this down further to explain what this means for us, for the investors. So, Sumit, this is what the response of the Adani Group had been. And even though the stocks, over 10 of them had been bleeding, despite the response that came in from the Adani Group, it did not cut ice with the investors. The stocks continued to be low. Even though, yes, the FPO had been subscribed, a lot of help that also came in from the investors. But despite that, this decision being taken by the Adani Group. Now, after the decision of withdrawing the FPO completely, what is the impact that it has had in the markets, in the shares of the other Adani Group?
Well, if you see, the share prices of all the 10 Adani groups are mostly trading on the lower side, but the share prices have been very volatile in trade. But do remember, there are a lot of other technical factors also which are keeping the Indian markets under pressure. So during such times, it's very difficult to predict how the share prices will evolve over the time. But at this moment, if you see, they are under pressure, and it's not only because of the company factors, but also because of other technical factors that are hovering over the Indian markets.
Okay, all right. Sumit, thank you for joining us with those updates. We'll continue coming back to you through the day to get the updates from the markets, because remember, this is also having an impact on the Sensex, on the investors across the country who have invested not just in Adani, but also we're seeing on Sensex, because the Sensex has dipped. Let me go across to my colleague Aishwarya, who's joining us on the broadcast. Before that, Sumit, just want to ask you very quickly, you mentioned because this comes at a time when the decision to withdraw the FPO came as a complete surprise. So, there have been a lot of discussions on whether this should have been a time when the faith of the investors should have been reposed, whether this decision should have been taken or not. Can we get, more details on what is expected in the markets? Just to break it down, over the last 1 week, it's been completely volatile. The shares have dipped completely. Even if it saw a bit of a margin of an improvement, it had dipped again. So what's expected today, and any further statement expected from the Adani Group on this front?
Well, just to give a perspective, if you see the market value of all the 10 Adani Group companies, they have come down from around 20 lakh crore to just around 11 lakh crore now. So that's the kind of rout that we have seen in Adani Group stocks in the last few trading days. And what can come going forward? Well, investors would want to get a statement from the company on what is their plan now going ahead, given the fact that they have withdrawn this 20,000 crore FPO, which was supposed to be used by the company for their capital expenditure purpose and for debt reduction purpose. So what's their timeline going ahead? How are they going to get more cash for their capital expenditure, and how they're going to plan to reduce their debt? Any clarification coming in from the company side from that would be grateful for the investors, but the street would be largely watching out for a roadmap from the company side on how they're going to fund their capital expenditure and their debt reduction plans going ahead.